The rivalry between Lil Durk, NBA YoungBoy, and Quando Rondo is one of the most complicated conflicts in modern hip-hop. What started as tension between different rap circles eventually became a highly personal rivalry that played out through music, social media, and real-world events. To understand how it began, you have to go back to the late 2010s. Lil Durk had established himself as one of Chicago's biggest rappers, while NBA YoungBoy was becoming one of the most successful artists to emerge from Baton Rouge. Quando Rondo, who was affiliated with YoungBoy's Never Broke Again camp, was also building his own career. Initially, there wasn't necessarily a direct personal feud between all three artists. The tension developed largely through relationships, affiliations, and conflicts involving people around them. As their careers grew, YoungBoy and Durk increasingly represented different sides of a larger rap rivalry. Their fanbases became heavily invested in the competition, and music began reflecting the tension. Then, in 2020, the situation became much more serious. Durk's longtime collaborator and friend King Von became involved in an altercation in Atlanta involving Quando Rondo's circle. Von was fatally shot during the incident. The circumstances surrounding his death became a major turning point in the relationship between Durk and Quando Rondo. Although the legal and factual circumstances surrounding the incident have been heavily discussed publicly, it's important to separate confirmed information from internet speculation. Following Von's death, the tension intensified dramatically. Lil Durk released music addressing his grief and the people he felt were connected to the situation. NBA YoungBoy and Quando Rondo also responded through their own music and online presence. The rivalry eventually became more than just two rappers exchanging diss tracks. It became a conflict involving entire fanbases, affiliates, and competing musical camps. In 2022, Durk released AHHH HA, widely interpreted as a direct response to YoungBoy and Quando Rondo. YoungBoy answered with "I Hate YoungBoy," bringing the rivalry back into the spotlight. What made the situation especially intense was that both artists were incredibly successful at the same time. YoungBoy was dominating streaming platforms, while Durk was building his legacy alongside his Only the Family movement. But beneath all the music was something much deeper: grief, loyalty, personal relationships, and the consequences of conflicts that had grown far beyond the original artists. Over time, the direct back and forth became less prominent. YoungBoy and Durk continued pursuing their careers, releasing music and building their individual legacies. The rivalry remains one of hip-hop's most talked about conflicts, but it's also a reminder that rap beef can become much more complicated when real-life relationships and tragedy become involved. What started as competition between two major rap camps ultimately became a story about loyalty, loss, music, and the consequences of escalation. And that's what makes the Lil Durk, NBA YoungBoy, and Quando Rondo saga so difficult to separate from the larger history of modern hip-hop.